Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're starting with Ad-Darsul Ashir. Ad-Darsul Ashir is our 10th lesson. And the title of the lesson is Al-Matar. Al-Mataru. Al-Matar is the airport. Okay, Al-Matar is the airport. So it looks like in this lesson we'll be learning about going to the airport and traveling. So the first word we have is طائرة. طائرة, which is a plane. طائرة is a plane. Okay. And the next word is سلم طائرة. سلم طائرة. سلم طائرة. سلم by itself, it means stairs. Stairs or ladder. Okay. Ladder. Okay. And طائرة, we just learned طائرة, which is a plane. So it's referring to the stair that we use to get on or get off from the plane. Okay. The main thing I want you guys to learn is this word, sulam, which is a ladder or stairs. Okay. And the next word we have janah, janah ta'ira. It should be janahu ta'ira. So janah, again, by itself, it means wing, like a bird wing. And ta'ira is a plane. So again, it's referring to a wing of a plane. Okay, wing of a plane. Now, I should mention something that we've seen this kind of phrase before when we talked about isharatu, murur. When we combine these two words, it gives you new meaning, right? Isharatu murur means what? A traffic light. So same thing, these are the similar kind of phrases. In Arabic, we call it idafa. Okay, so what happens is that we add two nouns to give two kinds of meanings. It can be of, for example, here we can translate this one as a stair, or a ladder. Let me put it this way: a ladder of a plane. Okay, so we can have this of meaning, or we can also sometimes have a completely new meaning. You can also say this one as a plain stair without the of or without the apostrophe s. Okay, you can say a plain stair or plain ladder, a plain ladder. Okay, here, for example, you can say a wing of a plane. Okay, or you can say plain wing, a plain wing. Okay, you can also say a plain wing. So we understand it's a plain wing, it's a different kind of word. We understand what it is referring to, right? The main thing to understand with this kind of phrase is that obviously you will need two words to combine them. The first word cannot take tanween. Okay, that's why they're being a little bit explicit here to show you the first word cannot take tanween. Because what happens if you take this word outside, like you just want to say a letter by itself, you can say sulamun, sulamun. Now you can say tanween because this word is standing by itself. Sulamun, a letter. But when you combine it in this way, in this kind of construction, we call it idafa, then the first word cannot have tanween. You cannot say sulamun ta'ira. That's not going to work. You have to say sulamu ta'ira. Makes sense? And this is the same case. You cannot say janahun ta'ira. It would be janahu ta'ira. Again, if you take it outside, then it's fine. You can say janahun, which means a wing. Okay, but here you're not saying a wing, you're saying a wing of a plane. So this off, okay, this off. When you have this off, then when you make this kind of construction, then the first word cannot take tanween. Okay, it's a little bit grammar rule. I think this book will, in this chapter, it will give you a lot of this kind of phrase. So we kind of have to get used to. And this is really in Arabic language, this kind of phrase, idafa, it's one of very fundamental to the language. So it's something that is very, very often used. So it's something that you have to get used to it. Okay, inshallah, and you will see it's used everywhere. Even when we say kitabullah, we always say the book of Allah. We say kitab Bullahi. Why do we say kitabullahi, not kitabun? Because the kitab, remember we learned this word kitabun. Kitabun is a book. Why don't we say kitabun Allahi? Because this is part of that of. Kitabullahi. Okay? The book of Allah. So now another thing that brings me to another point of this kind of construction. Again, right now you're getting a lot of grammar rules. That's fine, even if you don't get everything right now, as long as you're listening and understanding, inshallah, this kind of phrase will come often. So another thing you have to know, the first one, we just mentioned that it doesn't get tanween. Second word is always in kasra. Okay, it's always going to be in kasra. So you say janahu ta'ira tin. That's why we say kitabullahi. We don't say kitabullahu. That's mistake. We have to say kitabullahi. So same thing. We have to say sullamu ta'ira tin. So I told you the book will slowly give you these grammar rules. That's why sometimes they will just not write anything at the end. Remember the ending of a word. The ending of the word indicates the grammar. Okay, so that's why. But that's fine. Inshallah, it's we're learning something, and I'm pretty sure this book and this lesson you'll be getting a lot of this kind of phrases. Okay, جيد. And the next word we have طيار. طيار is a pilot. Okay, a pilot. And the next word is مضيف. مضيف is like hostess, like in the plane you have a hostess, right? Hostess, I think that's how I spell it. Steward, in the plane, right? Now, here again, these words are just by standing by itself, so you can put tanween, no problem. طيار, مضيف. Okay, makes sense. Now, the next word is تذكرة طائرة. Again, this is also one of this kind of phrase. Okay, it will be تذكرة طائرة. So what is تذكرة mean? تذكرة means ticket. You have a ticket, plane, ticket, any kinds of ticket, you buy a ticket. So تذكرة is ticket. You take this word outside, then you can have tanween. تذكرة تذكرة, a ticket. Okay, so here is specifying what kind of ticket. A ticket of what? طائرة, ticket of a plane. So here you can see in English we don't say ticket of a plane anymore. We don't say it like that. We just use plane ticket. We say a plane ticket. So that's the concept that I was trying to explain to you, that it can give also a new meaning. Okay, so when you, in order to, for example, we say in English we say housework. Okay, so this is you combining with two different words, but when you combine together, now we create a new word. Okay, housework doesn't mean like house and work, some different way, but when you combine them, we understand what it means. And the most famous example, a little bit extreme example that I like to give all the time, it's hot dog. Okay, when you say hot dog, we understand hot dog, we love them, we eat them, everything is fine. But as soon as you separate them, whoa, now we have a problem, right? What's going on? Hot and dog, and and we eat them, it doesn't make any sense, right? So when you combine them, and now everything is normal, we understand hot dog. So this is the situation. We'll be using idafa to make these kind of phrases. Okay, it can be off. You can say here a ticket of a plane. I mean, that's fine, but what is the word? There's a word for it. A ticket of a plane ticket. So why would we say a ticket of a plane? Okay, you understand? And sometimes you can in English you can say this whole phrases in another way, which is plane's ticket, plane's ticket, a plane's ticket. Okay, this is also same thing. But here in this case, we understand as a plane ticket, a separate word. Okay, this would be the most perfect example about when we say that we use this kind of phrase to make a brand new word. Because look at the first. It says jawazus safar. Okay, so jawaz by itself is like a permission or permit. Like permission. Give a permission to do something or permit. Okay, permit, right? And safar is travel. So we have two different words. Safar by itself means travel, and jawaz, it means a permission or a permit. Now you can say a permit, a permit of travel. You can say that, but guess what? We have a word for this one, which is what? Passport. Okay, see, you have two different words. Now you combine it, it becomes a brand new word, a passport. Okay, you understand? Again, the rule applies. You cannot say, because Java Zun, you're not saying Java Zun here. Okay, you have to say Java Zu and Safarin. And if you take this word outside and you want to say travel by itself, you can say Safarun, a travel. It might be a little bit overwhelming, but I think we've seen these kind of words before, and we'll be seeing a lot of this kind of word. So something that we kind of have to get used to. Okay, inshallah. Again, we're seeing a lot of these things. Next one is ضابط جوازات. Okay, ضابط by itself is an officer. Officer. Okay. So officer of what? Because we have one dhamma, so we are thinking that it might be that idafa of officer of jawazat. So this is a plural of this word, which is permits. And the issue is, in the context, this one word, jawaz, people, you don't have to say safar. You're in the airport, right? And you just say jawaz. People will understand you're talking about passport. Okay. Here in this context, same thing, because you're talking about in airport, and you're talking about officer, and you're also talking about permits. This whole thing, it means passports. The jawazat means here passports. So what are we referring to? We're referring to officers of the passports. So what are we saying? We're saying a passport officer. Okay. See those scary looking guys and always gives hard time, right? That's the passport officer. Now, and we have hammal, hammalun. Hammal is those guys who carries, it's a job, someone who carries the luggage and everything for you. And I think I'm not quite sure the term that is used for this worker, but that's who they are. Hammalun. Now, جيد. Okay, so the next page we have what we have some sentences. The first one is الطائرة تهبط. الطائرة تهبط. So we know what طائرة, and we have, this is the with alif lam, so that means it's talking about the plane. The plane. And again, we know the rule. We have that we cannot have tanween anymore. So we are saying الطائرة to the plane. And the word that we have here is tahbitu. Tahbitu. What is tahbitu? Tahbitu is a verb. It means to descend. to come down. Okay, so the plane, the plane descending, arrive, coming down. So that's what tahbitu means. But the issue that I want to discuss here is something very interesting. That's probably what this book will be teaching you right now. Remember, all the verbs that we've gotten so far, it starts with ya. We had yaqra'u, sorry, have yaqra'u. What did you say about ya? We said when you see ya, we mean it is he, and it is also present tense verb. So he reads. And we said we can translate as he reads, or we can say he is reading. Both of them are fine. And we also had, I don't know, we had a lot of them. Yash, I just want to give you one more. Yash Rabu. Okay. Yash Rabu. Again, starts with ya because it means he is drinking. You understand? So now looks like we have a verb that's not starting with ya, it's starting with ta. So what does that indicate? Not sure if I talked about this. So the tha indicates two things. Okay, so in this lesson, we'll just be discussing only one of them. So for example, instead of saying tashrabu, if I yashrabu, if I say tashrabu, because we had yashrabu means he is drinking. What is tashrabu mean? It means she is drinking. Huh? So what's the difference? Difference is the pronoun. So we use the ta in the beginning of present tense verb to indicate she. This ta also has another indication I just don't want to mention right now to get confused. But right now, only thing you need to know that ta in the beginning means it indicates she. Ya is for he and ta is for she. Make sense? So instead of saying he reads, how do we say she's reading? We say taqra'u. Taqra'u. Simple, right? Now the question comes, why are we saying she is descending or she is coming down? That is the question. It's because the word that we have, at-ta'iratu, this word is considered feminine word in Arabic language. Okay. Again, I don't recall if we had this kind of discussion in this book yet, but anyway, it doesn't hurt if it's a review. So basically, in Arabic language, remember, every word can be masculine and feminine. Okay, and when we say a word is masculine and feminine, usually we're not looking about its content. We're just looking at the word itself, the word. Okay, so the word, for example, I'll give you a quick example. If it's review, that's fine. If it's not, something you're learning. So kitabu, so kitabun, so this is a word, and we have maktaba, maktabatun. This is also a word. We learn both of them. Maktabatun, right? So what is kitab? Kitab is book. And what is maktabatun? Maktabatun is a library. Library. We learn both of these words. Now, what is the difference? The difference here is that this word is ending in ta marbuta. Okay? In Arabic language, like majority of time, 99% of time, if a word ends in ta marbuta, it is considered as a feminine word. Okay? So that's the rule. Okay? So here, because the ta'iratu is ending in ta marbuta, we are considering this plain, okay, as a feminine word. Okay, so now because we're referring to a feminine word, we have to use the feminine verb. Here we cannot say at-ta'iratu yahbitu. That's not going to be a proper grammar. We have to say at-ta'iratu tahbitu. Why? Because of we're referring to a feminine word. Make sense? Inshallah, I think this chapter will be getting a lot of this feminine. Yes, looks like that's the case. We'll be getting a lot of verb that is refers to a feminine thing. For example, here we have a ta'iratu taq. Sorry, a ta'iratu تقلع. الطائرة تقلع. Why are we saying تقلع? Last time I think we saw this verb as a يقلع. 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 يقلع would be he, refers to masculine, ascending, or to take off. Okay, it can also mean to take off. Take off. You know, so he's ascending or he's taking off, and here we're talking about she is ascending or she is taking off. Why are we saying she? Because this word al-ta'ira is considered feminine. Again, when you're going to be translating now, I don't think I translate. Let's translate this one. You're going to say the plane. The plane is what? Taking off. Okay, or ascending. Makes sense? So this is another grammar rule that we learned. Okay, so we have every verb can, a present tense verb, it can be starting with ya or it can start with ta. Yaqra'u, taqra'u. Yaqra'u is he reads, taqra'u is she reads. Yaktubu is he writes, taktubu is she writes. And we also learned that we have to match with the subject. Okay, here we can, the subject is what? Subject is الطائرة feminine, so we have to use the feminine verb. جيد. The next one we have الضابط. So listen, we have الضابط, which is, we just learned, is officer, so we have alif lam, it will be the officer. So now we're going back to ya. Why we're saying ya? Because officer, this is referring to a male officer. Okay, so now we have to use the verb that starts with ya. Yafhasu. So the officer is, what is yafhasu? We had this word before. Yafhasu is to what? Examine. Examine. You know, like to check something. You're checking. Okay, he's checking what? Jawaz as-safar. He's checking the passport. Passport. He's checking the passport. Now, a few questions. These are review. You know, we have a verb. Every time we have a verb, remember a few things we have to think about when we have a verb. The verb needs a subject or the doer, and some verb needs an object. Okay, so which one is the doer? Remember, we talked about if the noun that has a dhamma is the doer. So this is the doer because it has a dhamma. So dabitu, so dabit is the one who's doing the action. And what is the action? Action is to examine something. So he's examining. What is he examining? How do we know which one? We look for fatha. So that's why Jawaz as-Safar has fatha. So that means he is examining the passport. Again, the topic gets a little bit more bigger because here, you know, we're changing this part only. Remember the last time we had the word with jawazu, with dhamma, because dhamma, why dhamma? Because dhamma is the default case. You have the word by itself, you know, nothing is going on, so you're going to put jawazus safa. But here, this is not default anymore. This is an object of a verb. So that's why we have to put fatha. But we only change the first one. We only put the fatha on the first one. And the second word, what second word remains always kasra. This one you cannot change. Okay, regardless whether this one is fatha, dhamma, or kasra. Okay. Again, this concept probably might be a little bit hard right now, but you know, inshallah, we'll get them. Just understand that the first one, it cannot take tanween, but it can change, depends on the situation. If the word is subject, then it's going to be dhamma. If the word is an object, it's going to get a fatha. And if the word is after preposition, this can also get a kasra. Okay, as long as we don't put any tanween, then we're fine. And the next word, what do we do with the next word? We put kasra always. Okay, these are the very basic rules for now. Okay, inshallah, you will get them as we follow through this lesson. Now, so the next sentence we have Bakrun yas'adu. Bakrun yas'adu. Again, we are talking about the ya because it's referring to Bakr, which is a male person. Bakrun yas'adu as-sulam. And the yas'adu means what? To climb up. Climb up. Okay, so Bakr, he is climbing up. That's why we are using ya. What is he climbing up? So we need a what? We need an object. So he's climbing up. Sullam, as-sullam, the stairs or the ladder. So now, what do you think is going to be here? What harakat we should put here? Should we put a dhamma? Should we put a fatha? Or should we put a kasra? Of course, it's going to be fatha because it is an object of this verb. So Bakr is doing the action, he gets a dhamma, and he is doing the action on what? The object is as-sulam. So it's going to be as-sulama. Now, okay, we have a word here, midallah. Midallah is umbrella. Midallah is an umbrella. And the next sentence is as-sullamu amama at-ta'ira. So the stair, okay, the stair is amama. We had this one before. Amama is front of, front of, okay? Because amama is one of those special nouns. It's called, in Arabic, it's called dharf. Anyway, this is one of special nouns. In English, we call them what preposition. You can think of it as a preposition. That's fine. From English perspective, you can think of preposition. Okay, if you think of preposition, what is the rule? After preposition, what we do with the word? We put a kasra. So that's why we have to put a kasra. Okay, in Arabic, it has a little bit different, but no problem. You can think of preposition. Front of what? Front of at-ta'irati. Front of the plane. So you can translate the ladder is front of the plane. Okay, simple, right? Remember all of these old rules, we cannot forget them. You know, things will be keep on adding up. So we have to make sure we don't forget the old rules. So after preposition, we always get a kasra. Okay, Jayid? Now, and the last word, last sentence we have in this page is as-sayyaratu, because it's default in the beginning, looks like it's going to be a subject. There's nothing going on here. So we put a dhamma, as-sayyaratu. And even if you're not sure, you can read through the whole thing and then figure out. Wara'a. Wara'a is the opposite of amama, which is behind. Wara'a is behind. Okay. Again, this is in English what? It's in a preposition. So what is the rule? After preposition, we get what? We get a kasra. So now here saying the sayyara, the car is behind the plane. Simple rules, right? Make sense? Now, okay, so now we have few, so here dubat, okay, dubat is the plural of ضابط. Oh, sorry, what am I writing? ضابط. So now they're giving you a plural. ضابط is a officer. Dubat is officers. Officers. Okay. My handwriting. Officers. It's a plural. And here we have, looks like we have bitaqa. Bitaqatu wusul. Again, you see one dhamma, you should be thinking that this is one of those idafa, one of those phrases, you know, this kind of construction. Okay, so what is it? Bitaqa is a card. You know this word, we had this word before. So it's going to a card of wusul. Let me write this one, card. And wusul is arrival. Arrival. Okay, wusul is arrival. So now what do you think? What are we talking about? We're talking about arrival card. Okay, arrival card. You know, this kind of card that you fill it out, right? When you arrive in any country. Here, usul again. Usul is what? Arrival. And mughadara. Mughadara is departure. Departure is the opposite. Opposite of usul, which is arrival. Okay? Okay, so now we're starting with at-tadribat. Tadribat is the exercise, and we have at-tadrib al-awwal. The first exercise is always what? Is always about the vocabularies. And I always remind you that you have to memorize these vocabularies, and then you come here, and sometimes they give you more words in here. Looks like that's the case here, because we don't remember having this word rihla in the text. So what is rihla? Rihlatun is a trip. Rihla is a trip. Okay, you take a trip, you call it rihla. Walk, it should be walk. It should be sukun here. Waqtun. Waqtun is time. And raqam is number. Okay. No? Jade. Then we have matar. We know what is matar is ta'ira, sullam, janah. Janah is another thing I should mention. If you go to a hotel, right? If you go to a hotel, and then janah, in that context, janah has a different meaning. It can mean, the suites that they have, the suites. So like it's like almost like a room, so almost like a unit apartment. Tayyar, we know pilot, mudif, hostess, right? Tadhkira is ticket. And we talk about jawaz safar, password, dhabit is officer, jawazat. Here, jawazat, it can translate as a passports. Okay, in the context, that's what it will mean. Okay, hamal is those a worker, right? Tuqli'u is what is a feminine form. Usually, when you learn a verb, you should learn in the masculine form, because that is the default. So instead of learning tuqli'u, you should learn yuqli'u. Okay, you should learn yuqli'u. And I think we learned this word before. Yuqli'u. Why? Because if you understand yuqli'u, and it's just something that you have to change for different reason, right? So if it's feminine word, instead of saying yuqli'u, you just say tuqli'u. Okay. Now, same thing, instead of learning tahbitu, you should learn yahbitu. Yahbitu, which is to what? Come down or descend. Okay, so please make sure you memorize these words. جيد. Now we have التدريب الثاني, the second exercise, which is always fun, right? So we have طائرة, and we have to find, first we have to know what طائرة means. طائرة means plane. So now you look for a plane, and then you connect. Okay, again, جواز السفر is passport, and you can connect. So inshallah, you can do the rest. This one is kind of similar, right? We have usul. Again, I always encourage you to read the word aloud first and make sure you know the word, and then try to find the word here. Usul is arrival. I found a usul and I connect. Mughadara is departure. I look for departure. I found a departure. Okay, so you should be doing this one like so, and you should be able to complete. Interesting. Here's you have milad. Milad, birthday. Milad can mean birthday. Okay, interesting. We didn't have this word in the text. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, if they give you new words, I know that's you're learning a new word, so that should be a good. But how much you can memorize, this is something that you have to. It depends on individual level, right? So yes, tarikh. Tarikh is also date. Tarikh is date. Okay, so I don't see any other new words here. Now, okay, so here, same thing, you have a sentence here. Now you have to match a sentence. But again, before you do that, you have to translate. You have to make sure you understand the sentence. I think we had exactly the same, same. So yeah, my mind. Yes. So I'm not going to explain much. Okay, you know what it is? The officer is examining the passport. You look for the same sentence, and you can connect them. Okay. الرجل يصعد على السلم. The man is climbing. Okay, you can say, when you say yas'adu, you can say yas'adu ala, he's climbing on the stairs, or you can say he's climbing the stair. When you say ala, but the difference is, it's something interesting you should know. When you say ala, then what happens? You have to say ala sullami. So the man is climbing the ladder. But instead of ala, if you say, for example, you don't want to say ala, you say ar-rajulu yas'adu, you want to say the man is climbing the stairs. then what's going to happen? Is it going to be kasra, dhamma? No, it's going to be fatha, because at that time it is the object, direct object of this verb. So the man is doing what? He's climbing what? He's climbing the stairs. Okay, but if you have ala, and then you have to put kasra. All of these rules, we know them, but it's always good to review, inshallah. And the last one we have ar-rajulu yaqra'u tadhkira. Okay, so it's ar-rajulu, the man is reading. He's reading what? Tadhkira. And what goes here is tadhkira as-safar. But what do we put here? We put fatha. Why? Because he's reading it. So this is an object. Okay, this is an object, so we have to put fatha. And kasra, it remains here. Tadhkira as-safari. Now, and at-tadrib al-khamis, it's showing a ghain in the beginning. Okay, gharb, you should know all of this meaning. Gharb is the west. Okay, yughliq, he is closing. Okay, yughliq is a verb, so he is closing. Mughadara, we had this one. Okay, which is what? Departure. Saghir is small. And at-tadrib al-sadis, this is a sound listening. This one you should, if you're new to Arabic language, or then you should pay attention, because a lot of people get these things, this one wrong. Meaning it's not that easy to differentiate between hamza, which is here, and ayn. For example, you say amal and amal, and if you don't say it properly, the meaning changes. For example, here an and an. This an has one meaning and an means another thing. Sa'ala and sa'ala. Okay, so this one, this exercise, especially these sounds, are usually very similar, so you should practice them, inshallah. And at tadrib al-sabi', it's showing you that same card here again. Okay. Not sure what they want. Do they want us to fill it out? Not sure. And then we have at-tadrib al-thamin, the 8th exercise. Again, here it's showing you writing this kind of exercise. Inshallah, you can practice them by yourself. It will help you with writing and all of this, inshallah. Okay. Looks like this is the last one, and last one is at-tadrib al-ashir, the 10th exercise. Here, sullamu ta'ira. Sullamu ta'ira. Okay, look, finally they're showing you. I don't think they showed the last haraka until now. So there, I think, trying to point out a few things. Number one, I'm pretty sure they want you to write this thing. Second one, right now they're showing you the grammar. So they're saying sullamu, okay, and the second word gets kasra, which we have discussed. Another thing I really want to explain here, because in the beginning we had the word as sullamu ta'ira, ta'ira without the alif lam. Okay, sullamu ta'ira without the alif lam, and here we have the alif lam. So what's the difference? Difference is that we cannot make this one into a, if we want to say here, it means a plain stair. Okay, you say a plain ladder. Okay, a meaning it's indefinite, right? But how do you say the plain ladder? Now, if we are coming from our previous studies, you'll be tempted to put alif lam here. Okay, so you say as-sulamu ta'ira. Now, if you do that, what happens is that it becomes a sentence. It's going to be the stair. If you say as-sulamu ta'ira, then you're pretty much saying as-sulamu ta'ira, you're pretty much saying what? The ladder is a plane. Whether it makes sense or not, but that's what you're saying. Because remember last time we talked about the sentence, a very simple sentence is that what? You have to have the first one is definite and second one is indefinite, right? A very simple sentence. And here you have the first one is definite, was as-sullamu, and then the second one is ta'ira. Anyone who understands Arabic, they will translate as a sentence. So that's not working, right? So you might say, okay, fine. If that's not the case, so maybe I should put uh, alif lam in the other one also. But when you do that, what happens? What did we say? This becomes an adjective phrase, right? Remember, an adjective, everything has to match. So what's going happen? It's going to be I don't know if it even makes sense. Like plane stairs, it's stair plane. Like it's not going to make sense. Basically, bottom line is what I'm trying to say. If you want to say the plane stairs, okay, or you want to say letter, the letter of the plane, then you have to use alif lam into the second one, not the first one. That's precisely what they're doing. Okay, so you have to put the alif lam to the second one. Here we had what we had here. We had 1 second. We had sullamu ta'iratin, right? Now we're saying sullamu at-ta'irati. Why t? Why not tanwin? Because of alif lam. That is our old rule. But we still cannot do anything about the kasra. We still have to put the kasra in. Okay, so I think it's a lot of rules here. I can understand, but something that inshallah in the keep on telling you, the idafa is something that you cannot avoid. You will find them, and this kind of rules inshallah will be keep on coming, and something that inshallah you will understand and you'll master it. But right now for this lesson, only thing I want you to understand that this is something called idafa phrase, something interesting construction when we combine two different words and we make it a new meaning, or we give that off meaning. Okay, so we can translate this one as a ladder of a plane. Okay, we had an example in Book of Allah. Same thing we can have Rasul means a messenger. Rasulullahi. Okay, the messenger of Allah. Okay, so we get this kind of meanings. Inshallah, I'm pretty sure we'll have a lot more discussion about idafa in the future lesson. Jayid, so with that, we have reached our end of the lesson. Inshallah, I will see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.